Well, starting school later helps students learn better, and it could even prevent some teens from drinking, smoking, and taking up other bad behavior.
And that's according to research that convinced one local school district to change its start times.
The I-Team's Casey Geraldo did her own research to find out if the idea works in Shorewood. Casey.
That's right, George and Carol. Mornings with kids are hectic enough, and when you factor in how early some schools start, it makes it even harder to get students up and going. But according to the researcher who's worked on this for 20 years, 92% of parents say later start times made their teens easier to live with. It's a sound we all remember, the first bell of the school day, early in the morning.
We're still really tired at 7:30.
All of my energy was like, don't fall asleep in class.
And for parents, an early bell means an even earlier struggle with sleepy teenagers.
I think it was the hardest on days where she had something first period that she knew was going to be difficult. And she would ask me to wake her up even earlier.
But here at Shorewood High School, it's almost a dream. Better rested students and happier parents, thanks to one change. A start time of 8:05.
I just feel more engaged and more in tune.
Shiley Bell Lipsy takes public transportation to school. With the old schedule, she found herself rushing in the morning.
I was constantly a few minutes late for first hour.
Now she's early.
I can get started and prepare for my day.
Principal Tim Kenny says he loves the change.
Pretty significant drop in unexcused tardies the first hour, to the tune of about 20 to 25% of a drop off.
Kids showing up on time is just one reason. Kenny says the school has seen fewer behavioral issues, which he says could be linked to the later start time. Studies back up Shorewood's experience. The research shows that these students have the least flexible sleep schedule of any of us, and that they function best when they sleep between 10:45 p.m. and 8 a.m. Kyla Wallstrom from the University of Minnesota has spent 20 years studying school start times.
When teens are sleep deprived, their ability to make choices and think through the decisions, whether or not they should use drugs, cigarettes, alcohol, and so on.
But the change comes with challenges.
You only have a certain amount of time that you can work with to fit things into an entire school year.
Bigger districts can face even bigger issues dealing with budgets and transportation. Wallstrom admits coordinating the change isn't always simple.
Communities have rhythms. They have a rhythm for when their school starts, and they have a rhythm for going to work and childcare and all those things, sports, activities.
Kenny says if he could, he'd start even later because it seems to be working.
I feel like it would just be better to start later because people would be more focused and in tune. I think I'm more like talkative and friendly now.
Milwaukee Public Schools did start surveying parents to see if they'd be willing to shift the start times around, but when we talk to the district, they tell us that they have tabled that idea for now.
Casey, given how successful this has been, why aren't more districts changing their start time?
When you look at bigger districts like MPS, it gets complicated. They usually have to change around bus times. And we talked to some parents who had gotten this survey, and they were worried about having elementary age kids getting on the bus to get to school at 7:15, so high schoolers could go in later. And we do have a list of all the different start times in some of the districts in our area, so if you want to compare how your district is compared to others, you can go on to this story at tmj4.com.
A lot of variables.
Yeah, it's interesting though. Thank you very much, Casey.
Thanks, Casey.